Hey everybody, Cody with Princess Craft RV. Come along with me today as we go through our inTech Aucta Sycamore. So let's start right up front and let's go over our coupler. All right, starting right up front here, we're gonna ride on a 2 5/16 ball. Once we back our tow vehicle underneath that, we're gonna use our electric tongue jack. We're gonna lower down onto the ball, and then we're gonna pick our slide lock here up, slide it forward, and make sure it drops all the way down. There are these 2 ears here on the back. You wanna make sure they drop into that cavity. Once you get latched on, you can finish retracting your jack all the way. We're also going to have our safety chains that are going to crisscross under our coupler, latch onto our receiver hitch on our tow vehicle. We've got our safety breakaway cable. Now this does need an additional quick link or carabiner to clip onto your tow receiver as well. And we've got our seven-way cord here. This is going to provide our lights and our brake control if your tow vehicle is equipped with a brake controller to control the brakes on the trailer. Now for our electric tongue jack, we do have a extend and retract switch, and we've got a loading light for nighttime operation. Now if this electric jack does fail electrically or the motor fails, you can remove this rubber plug here on the top. Just going to pop that rubber plug out, and right inside you're going to find a 3/4 inch or 19 millimeter drive nut where you can use a hand crank to crank this jack up and down so you can keep camping. All right, moving right behind that into this inTech panel here, we're going to remove these 2 snap pins and open this up. And inside we will find our 2 20-pound propane cylinders with a changeover regulator. So this little lever right here has got an arrow on it which points to the cylinder that you want to use. So right now we're pointed to this one. If we needed to switch to the other one, we're just going to rotate it over to that one. To get these out, you're going to loosen up your wing nut here all the way up, slide your lock bar out of the way, and then these cylinders will tilt and pull out of here. They are 20-pound cylinders, so they can be exchanged or refilled, whatever is available to you while camping. To put your cover back on, we're just going to slide the bottom in onto those rubber stops, and then we're going to slide those pins in and put our snap pins back in place. All right, right down here on the frame, on the center tube here, you will see that we've got our tire information sticker, which talks about our tire size and tire pressures. And then we've got our manufacturer stickers, got our VIN on it. Again, it's going to have some other weights and tire information on there. All right, starting over here on the off-door side of the trailer, we've got a storage compartment here. It's going to be equipped with a slam latch and a magnetic holdback. It's just a pass-through storage. It goes all the way through to the other side. This vent right here is going to be for your battery. 4-corner stabilizers underneath. These are going to be, again, a 19 millimeter or 3/4 inch drive nut. You do have a hand crank. These can be fitted to a drill, so you can run these up and down quicker. You just are going to crank it down to the ground. You want to apply a light amount of pressure. They are not designed to lift. All right, while we're still down here, we do have our sewer hose storage here. We just have a little rotating latch on it. Pop that open, and these are the DW. So they're some of the largest on the market to fit your oversized fittings on your quality sewer hoses. So pretty good size sewer hose storage tube there. Moving on back, we've got our potable water connections here. On the left is going to be our freshwater tank fill. To fill this up, we're just going to take our water hose and put it in there. I do recommend running through a water filter, and you're going to wait till that water backwashes out, or you can check the monitor panel inside if you don't want to carry a full tank and get as much as you need in there, or wait for it to wash back out, and that tells you it's full. Other connection here is going to be our city water connection. So if we're going to be running off of a water hose from a water spigot, it's going to be hooked up with a freshwater drinking hose and your pressure regulator to protect your system, and it's just going to hook up and all your pressure will be provided from that connection. Moving on back, wheels and tires, let's talk about those real quick. Check your tire pressures. Keep your tire pressure set per the manufacturer sticker up on the tongue of the trailer. And check your lug nut torque regularly, I recommend, before each trip. And then your first purchase, it is recommended at 10 miles, 20 miles, and 50 miles. So basically when it's brand new, and then again after any time the wheels have been removed for servicing, whether it be brake work or bearing work, or you're putting new tires on, you do need to go back and follow this 10, 25, and 50 mile retorque spec to make sure that those lug nuts get torqued down properly and they don't come loose on you. Right above that, we're gonna have our Suburban on-demand water heater. Inside here, not a whole lot, just we've got a power switch and we've got a fuse to check. This is also going to be your overpressure valve here, so in case the system overpressurizes, this may release water or pressure that you may see dripping out, which would be normal if the system has too much pressure in it or it gets too hot. The rest of the controls for this are going to be on the inside of the camper, so we'll show you that once we get in there. All right, let's keep moving. Suburban furnace, this is going to be your exhaust. So this is going to get hot anytime your furnace is operating. So make sure you don't block it in the wintertime when it's running, and watch out for little fingers if you're camping with kiddos. And here in Texas, mud daubers really love to build nests in furnaces, so we do recommend some type of insect screen to put over this to keep them out. Save yourself some money by doing that. Right behind that, starting at the top here, we're going to have a 2-pin inlet. This is going to be for a portable solar panel. This is going to be a panel you can set up next to the trailer or extend out. It needs to be equipped with its own solar controller. It's going to come right in here and help recharge those batteries on a good sunny day. Right below that, we're going to find your cable inlet. The park you're camping in has cable. That's going to be the inlet for it, and then it's going to run to your TV inside. And the Sycamore is equipped with 50 amp service because it's got 2 air conditioners on it. So other than that, it really hooks up the same. It's just got a couple pins you're going to line up, slide it in, give it a little turn to the right, and then secure your lock ring down nice and snug so we have a good tight fitting. We don't want any loose fittings creating heat or arcing. So just below that, we're going to have our water hose connection. So this does have a quick connect on it. So you can either leave this in there or connect this to your water hose, but you're just going to push the collar back, and then you're going to take this and you're going to push that in. And you do have your low point drain here for this plumbing section. Right below that, while we're still down here, we're going to have our sewer dump. So we've got our wastewater holding tank right above it, and back here we've got our sewage holding tank. So sewage is going to be your black tank, and wastewater will be your gray tank. So gray tank is sink and shower, wastewater is all toilet. All right, let's keep moving. All right, back here on the rear end of the Sycamore, let's start up top. We are equipped, pre-wired for a backup camera. Not a whole lot else going on back here. License plate's going to mount here in the middle, but we do have a 2-inch receiver tube back here on underneath. And what I do want to cover here is the sticker that's just above it that talks about our weight capacities for this. It's 175 pounds, must be evenly distributed, and it cannot exceed 24 inches past the rear of the trailer. So 175 pounds at 2 feet, that's all you get. You can't do more, or you could have some issues with your receiver tube there. So follow that sticker, don't exceed it. All right, we're getting close to being done with the outside of our Sycamore here, but in this rear compartment on the door side, we're gonna find our outside kitchen. So again, we're gonna have a slide lock on here. We're just gonna push down on that, and that's gonna allow us to slide this out. And what we're gonna have in here is we're gonna have our Suburban griddle. You are gonna have a cooler that's going to be 12 volt or 110 depending on how you want to power it. This can be removed, you can transport it, you can put it in your tow vehicle if you're not taking the trailer. It's totally removable, and they work really well for doing other things. Connections that have to be made here is going to be our propane connection. We're going to pull this propane quick connect right out of this storage box, and it's going to go right down here into our quick connect. So to get this connected, we're going to push the collar back, take our hose, push in, let go, make sure that locks on there. I like to give it a little tug, and then we're going to take this on-off lever right here, we're going to turn it to the on position. That's going to allow our propane to flow to our griddle. It's also going to lock this connection so we can't accidentally knock our gas hose loose. Once we're done using this and we need to store it and it's cooled correctly, we're going to close that, and then we can just push that collar back and pop our hose off, and it's going to store right back in there. And we're going to put our dust cap back on. Now for our griddle, to get it to light, you're just going to push in and you just rotate to the left, and every time you pass that click, it's going to cause our igniter down in here to light up our flame system here. Now, being that this is a griddle, it has a grease trap, which is going to be a little hole here in the griddle top, and it's going to collect into this little bin where you can clean this out, dump it, and get rid of the grease that you build up on top. You have a little cutlery holder up here on top, but really that's about it here. So to put this away, we're going to push down on our slide lock, and we're just going to slide that in. Make sure it gets all the way in. I like, again, give it a little tug, make sure it's locked in, and now we can close our door. We do have some warning and danger stickers over here, so just read through those, make sure you're familiar with everything that you should be looking for. Just in front of that, we have a rear door. What do we need a rear door for on a Sycamore? Well, this space can be used for some storage. It's also kind of a bunk and working station system that they have set up back here. It's a pretty cool new thing that they've done, so we'll go over that more, but it's really just a door that you can utilize for storage. Got two exterior 110 outlets. These little knobby black looking things are our door holdbacks. So we've got, they're magnetic. We've got one for this door, and then we've got one for our entry door. The entry door one is up high. Last thing we're gonna have out here is gonna be our forward storage compartment. Again, it's gonna have a magnetic holdback, and this just goes all the way through to the other side. All right, that pretty much covers everything on the outside. Let's hop inside and check it out. All right, so inside our inTech Aucta Sycamore, up here in the front, we've actually got our bedroom. So we've got our queen bed. Overhead, we do have storage compartments. These are held closed with magnets, and then these stays here that'll keep the doors open, and they can be adjusted for tension. So if you want them to hold open a little stiffer, you can do that. You do have reading lamps on both sides of the bed. So you've got some different types of accent lighting. You've got like a backlight, then you can do accent lighting through the globe, and then if you press again, you're going to get your typical white light. So moving down right next to the bed, we're going to have ceiling lights and accent lights. So your ceiling lights are going to be your 4 recessed lights overhead, and your accent lighting is our lighting that's up here by our day-night shade. We are going to have a charge port. It's going to be a double USB. And we've got 110 outlets and a cup holder. This big front window does have a pull-down shade. So very nice feature here that you can get some privacy while you're sleeping. All of your shades in the trailer are pull-down. So you just pull them down till they where you want them. And then to get them to retract, we're just going to give them a quick tug, and they're going to pull back up. Now both windows in the bedroom area are going to be our fire exit windows. So if you've got this red knob on the screen, you're just going to grab that and yank it. The screen's going to pop off. We're going to take these latches and tip them out to get this window ready to open. And then we're just going to push out on these. And that, if you push them all the way through, that window can swing all the way out. But you can still just use it as a ventilation window and prop those. They have like a little catch right here on them. So you can prop that window open and just use it as a regular window as well. Latch these back in place anytime you get ready to travel, so that window stays in place. We also have a TV in the bedroom, which is going to be a swing away. So while you're laying in bed, you can swing it away from the wall so you can see the TV. Behind the TV, we will have a 110 outlet, so it's a 110 power TV. And we're also going to have your booster plate for your rooftop antenna. And you'll see we've got a little button here with a red light. So when this is on, we've got that cable inlet on the side. Cable signal will not be able to pass through. So if you are going to use park cable, you're going to want to connect outside. You're going to come in here and you're going to turn that off. That red light's going to go off, and that will then allow the cable signal to pass through. And then you can get cable on your TV. All right, so we do have a privacy door for the bedroom. It does have a travel lock over here on the wall. We're just going to lift that up and swing it out of the way. And then this door is going to slide like a barn door. Got our overhead hardware with 2 big rollers. And then there is a guide on the floor as well. So this is just going to roll up. It's got a magnetic catch up against the wall that'll hold it in place while you're just camping. But do not forget to latch it whenever you get ready to hit the road, because this door will slide back and forth and it will get damaged if you don't have it latched against the wall. Now everything we just covered there is on the door side of the trailer. So let's cover everything that's on the off door side of the trailer over here. Starting up top, we're going to have your Coleman thermostat. That is going to be to control your air conditioners. We're going to have our max fan remote. That's going to control our max fan that's here in the bedroom. So open and close, ventilation, in and out, all that good stuff. And then we've got 3 more switches. So we're going to have, again, our ceiling light switch for this side control. We've got our accent lighting. And then now on this side, we've also got this blue backlit switch, which is for our cabinet accent lighting that we have in here as well. All right, last thing is going to be our underbed storage. We're just going to grab the base of our bed. We're going to lift up. Again, we've got a strut support system on each side. It's going to get us nice and lifted. So underneath here, we can fit quite a bit of stuff. And underneath this compartment here, this is just going to lift up, and this is going to be your battery. In here, you're also going to find your electrical bus bars for 12 volts. So make sure those caps don't get knocked off or anything if you do put stuff in here. We've got a 70 amp resettable 12 volt breaker in here. And then we've got 3 different fuses. One's going to be the primary, one's going to be for solar, and one's going to be for your tone jack. So knowing all the places of where these things can be located is good for you. All right, so this is going to be our living room and kitchen space. So we're just inside the entry door here, and up top on our side of our cabinet, we're going to have some items. Starting up here on the top left is going to be our Girard awning control for in and out, and our LED controls as well. So you've got the out function, the in on the awning side here, and if you don't want it fully retracted in or fully extended, you can hit stop and it'll stop wherever you want it. You've got your LED on and off, and then you've got your one touch close off. So if you have the light on and the awning extended, you can push that. It's going to automatically turn the lights off, and it's going to retract the awning all the way. Next to that, we've got our control center. Here we're going to be able to take a look at our battery levels, our tank levels, all by this gauge. And we've got our water pump switch. So if we are dry camping or we're traveling and we just need to get some water from our fresh water tank, we're going to flip that switch on. It's a pressure demand pump. It's going to run until it builds pressure and then shut off. And at any time pressure drops, it's going to kick back on. Next to that, we've got our tank heater and our line heater. So these are going to be used in cold weather camping situations to keep things from freezing up. Below that, we are going to have our radio. So we've got a HDMI input, we've got a USB input, auxiliary input. It's a standard AM FM radio as well, so you can just listen to regular over-the-air channels. So below that, we're going to have our light switches for in here. We've got our ceiling lights, which will be our recessed lighting right up on the ceiling. We've got our porch light for right outside the entry door. We've got our cabinet lighting, blue cabinet lighting. And we've got our exterior front accent lighting. So above our big front windshield, we have a blue strip there that has blue accent light in it as well. So let's keep on moving down the side here. We have got our couch, which also is going to make into our dinette. Now our dinette table stores against the wall just inside the right of the entry door. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this loose. Just has a pull latch that you pull up on it, and you're going to pull your table out. All right, so we've got our table removed. Now we need to get our table leg. It's going to be stored in this bottom compartment here by our bunk system. Clipped to the wall in the top section. We're just going to pull that out. And it is going to be a threaded fit. So we're just going to take it to our base and line it up, and we're going to screw that down. And you want to go all the way until it's tight. That clicking is normal, so now we're snug. Now we can take our tabletop, and we're just going to line up that cup with the top of the post. And that's going to sit on there, and now we have our dinette space. To take it down, is just the opposite. We're just going to grab our tabletop, give it a little wiggle, pop it off. We're going to put it back in its storage spot. To remove your leg, you can't just unlock it. You do have to push this release button down here to get it to release. I like to use my foot to hold it down until we get it going. Once you get up high enough, you should be able to just do it by hand. So when you push down on that, there's these little teeth right here that you're pushing down, so then they're not locking into these grooves anymore, and that's to keep it from accidentally coming loose. So once you get that taken off, we're just going to store it back in our compartment. Okay, now while we're talking about our sofa here, we do have some cool features here. So it's got drawers underneath. They're just going to pull out. And then there's two straps inside. You're just going to grab those straps. And we're going to lift this up. And it makes into an additional sleeping space. So a pretty cool way to expand that sleeping space. To put these away, again, we're just going to grab the straps, tip them down. They drop right in. Super easy process to put those away. Okay, let's jump over to the kitchen side and let's cover what's over here. So in our kitchen space, again, we're going to have another Coleman Mach thermostat. That's going to control our rear AC. The one in the bedroom controls the front AC. We're going to have our Max Fan remote that's going to control our Max Fan here in the living room space. A 110 outlet, a dual USB charging port. We've got our kitchen lighting overhead. We've got another emergency exit window. Kitchen sink, hot and cold water. Our cooktop here is going to be a 2-burner cooktop. To get that to light, you're just going to turn the knob to the light position, and then the little silver button in the middle, you're just going to push it, and it's an electronic ignition. This is a glass top, so make sure your burners are cooled. Do not light them and then close on top of it. On this side, we've got another 110 outlet, and then behind that is going to be where our TV is stored for the living space. And in here, we're just going to slide this out, and inside we've got our TV. It is just like the one in the bedroom, so all the same features and benefits there on that guy. There is a travel lock back here behind it that you'll want to latch into place so that doesn't slide out while you're traveling. All right, so our cabinet just to the left of the door overhead coming in, we're going to have our power distribution panel. It's going to be our progressive dynamics with lithium capabilities. To get into it, we're just going to push at the top in the middle, and the door is going to flop open. Inside, we're going to find our 12-volt fuses. I recommend looking at these, buying an assortment of fuses, and keeping them on hand. Just in case one does blow, you can easily go in and replace it. We've got our 110 breakers down here. Again, this is a 50 amp, so this is going to be our mains right here. And then moving out, everything is going to be labeled for you on the data sheet on the lid here. All right, so this is lithium capable. If you have lithium batteries installed, this does need to be put to lithium mode. And Progressive Dynamics uses a little micro switch, and on this particular power distribution panel, it's going to be inside this little window. There's a little micro switch up there, and it just needs to be switched over to LI. We've got our Suburban water heater control. So on and off, so you're just going to tap the power button. It's going to pop up with current temperatures, and then if you just push the up and down arrows, this is going to be your set output temperature. And so you can set where you want that to go. Once you turn on the hot water, it's going to start flowing through the system. This is automatically going to light up as long as you've got propane, and it'll display all that on here, and you'll be able to watch your temperature go up and get to that point. Last thing in here is going to be our 12-volt disconnect switch. So on and off when you go into storage, we're just going to rotate that to the off position, and you're ready for storage. When you get ready to go again, turn it back to on. All right, so we are equipped with a convection microwave here, or convection oven. It's pretty good size on this unit. Very large space. You can do all kinds of cool things in these. We do have several storage drawers. We've got a built-in trash can here on a slide out. All All right, so under our kitchen sink, we've got 2 drain valves. These are going to be our low point drains for our hot and cold system. So when they are perpendicular to your water line, that means they're closed. When they are parallel to your water lines, that means they are open. You'll drain these out after camping. Anytime you get ready for winterization or anything like that, you're going to want to use those to drain the system down. Okay, we are equipped with a 12-volt refrigerator, and the controls in here are going to be, you're going to open the fridge up, and right inside at the top you're going to see just a dial, and you're just going to rotate that over to whatever setting you need to be at. 6 is going to be your highest, and these are really great. They cool off within just a couple of hours. Freezer up top. All right, let's keep moving on back. The coolest feature that I like about the Sycamore is going to be our bunk system. So right now this is set up for our sleeping, so top bunk, bottom bunk, but this can also be used for a workstation, and the way it works is pretty cool. We're just going to take this top bunk and we're going to tip it up, and it's going to fold up. It's got strut supports on it to get up and out of the way. And then for our bottom section, there's a little rubber pull handle right back here. We're going to pull up on it, and it's going to tip the middle, and then we're just going to slide this back, and it's going to lock into place. Now, this has 2 different positions. If you like a little more of a reclined position, it'll lock there, but there's also a pull lock right here underneath on the right-hand side, and you can push this the rest of the way back and be in more of an upright position. All right, so the way this becomes a workstation is we're going to turn our travel lock out, and then we're going to grab these 2 knobs and we're going to tip this down. Now we've got a workstation that also has an extension, so we can sit further back. We can have our laptop, our keyboard, whatever it is we're working here, and work from the road and still have a place for our children to sleep, which I think is pretty ingenious. Inside we're going to have different power options. We got our 110 and our USB-A. When you're done using it, you're just going to tip it back up. And again, make sure we get that travel lock in place so it doesn't fall open. Overhead storage, again, this is going to be for our top bunk user. We've got another 110 and USB charging port. We've got our accent lighting for our cabinet lighting. We do have reading lamps, which are just like the ones in the bedroom. Now to put this back down, it's just the opposite of how we put it in the up position. We're going to pull that slide lock, slide the bottom back down, and we're just going to pull the top bunk down. And we're just going to grab this handle, and this thing just pivots on its own, so you don't have to worry about really pulling it in the wrong direction. And now we're back being into a bunk bed. So let's check out the bathroom. All right, here we are in our bathroom. It's a dry bath, so we've got our Dometic toilet right inside. It's going to be a foot flush, so half flush on the pedal is going to put water in our bowl. Once we get enough water in there, we're going to do our business. Once we're all done there, pedal all the way to the floor is going to flush everything down into our black tank, give the bowl a rinse. Make sure you're using RV toilet tissue, a quality tank treatment product to help break all that down and keep everything moving so you don't have any tank issues. We do have your toilet paper holder here. Our GFI outlet is right here, so the trip and the reset. So if you're having 110 outlet problems, check that. Make sure it's not tripped by a charger or a shaver or a hairdryer, whatever it may be that could have tripped it. We've got our sink in the corner with hot and cold water. Underneath, we do have a good amount of storage. And now we've got to get into our shower. All right, so here we are in our shower. So not a whole lot going on in here. We've got hot and cold water with an adjustable shower holder. We've got our light switch on the wall, which is a waterproof light switch. And overhead, we've got a vent fan. It's just a standard vent fan, crank open, with a switch on it for a vent, which is going to be the same thing that's in our bathroom space. Now this little holder here just snaps to the wall so it can be removed for cleaning, but this is where you're going to store your soaps, your shampoos, all that good stuff. We've got our ledge. Everything's good to go in here. That's our shower. All right, that should cover our walkthrough of our inTech Aucta Sycamore, but if you have any further questions, check us out online at princesscraft.com. Check us out in person in Round Rock, Texas or Katy, Texas, or give us a call. Thanks, guys.